Heyo, and what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV tonight. The Survivor Series teams are starting to fill up because qualifiers continued on tonight's episode of Smackdown on Fox. But this show, while it started off pretty hot with the Women's Championship, it went off the rails pretty quickly and in a big way with these qualifiers. And we are going to talk about all of that and so much more as it's time to bring the hammer down on SmackDown right here and right now. My name is Nick Nightmare. You are watching the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's SmackDown review and reaction show. Let's do it.
The Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
Right off the bat, they kicked off tonight's episode of SmackDown with a fantastic SmackDown Women's Championship match, a rematch between Sasha Banks, the champion, and Bayley, the challenger. And this was a great match. They really laid it out there for nearly 30 minutes. These girls were killing each other, and it was a really well-told story. There were some really fantastic spots in this match, and I very much enjoyed the opening of SmackDown. The only things wrong with this whole entire segment is it kind of feels messed up that it happened so soon after Hell in a Cell. The Hell in a Cell match was great in and of itself, but to follow it up with a rematch so quickly, considering how much they delivered, I feel like it deserved a little bit more of a build, a little bit more time to let the story continue to play out, maybe sell Sasha's neck injury for a while, do something to prolong it so that you could give it a bigger blow-off, a bigger payoff match at a big show, maybe at the Rumble, maybe even at Survivor Series. Instead of having this useless champion versus champion match, you should have been having this rematch there. But we had this rematch tonight, and it was fantastic. If you didn't see it, go check it out. It's some of Bayley and Sasha Banks' best stuff that they have done on the main roster. I was very impressed. And if this truly is an ending to this storyline for now, this is a great way for them to go off. And it was great. What was also great was anything involving Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. Jey Uso tonight was backstage, and he came up against Kevin Owens. And Kevin Owens decided to little joke around with Uso over there, and he was trying to kind of tongue-in-cheek be like, oh, well, I guess you don't call the shots anymore, you bow down to your family, whatever, And Jey Uso didn't take too kindly to it, but he let Kevin Owens off. He didn't attack him then and there. And this also created a problem for Jey Uso with the tribal chief, who didn't take too kindly to him just offering up information in an interview with Kayla Braxton following his little encounter with Kevin Owens. So he now has to get everything cleared by his cousin. Paul Heyman made this known. You shouldn't be doing this without clearing it with Roman Reigns first. You don't have his permission to do this. And then Jey Uso wanted to confront his cousin, to which Roman Reigns had the balls to come out and confront his cousin without barely even looking at him. And he just told him, you can't do things like this. It looks bad for the family. It looks bad on me. If I don't have your respect, I'll have nobody's respect. And it's interesting to me here because Roman Reigns got what he wanted. He got his cousin to bow down and accept him as his tribal chief. But he's not making his life very easy now, is it? Doesn't matter that he accepted it. He's still being put through the ringer by his cousin, and even though he has this understanding and he understands now that he has to fall in line, he's still going to have to eat some shit because Roman Reigns is piling it on really hard, forcing his hand and forcing a match for Jey Uso to confront and put Kevin Owens down for his wise-ass remarks earlier in the night. All of this was great. Roman Reigns as a heel is my favorite thing in wrestling. He delivered his promos with a stone-cold accuracy tonight, like a serial killer just standing there, a mob boss, just not even acknowledging anybody around him. And he even gave Paul Heyman shit. He's like, why am I dealing with this? I have you here to deal with shit so I don't have to deal with it. What am I doing involved in such a stupid thing like my cousin having an interview? Paul Heyman looked like he was going to shit himself. And this was a fantastic start to tonight's SmackDown. And then, as we said, it went downhill in a big way, off the rails, really fast. After this great back and forth between Jey Uso and Roman Reigns, we were sent backstage to see Rey Mysterio and Dominic, who are worried about where's little Aaliyah. Have you talked to your sister? No, Tiny Dad, I haven't seen my sister. Well, giant baby son, you have to help me find your sister. Do you know where my computer is? Go get her. Or whatever he asked him to go get. I don't care. As soon as this happens and this soap opera drama nonsense begins with this storyline that I wish died with the draft, it just... And it's amazing to me that it didn't. I have no interest at all. No interest. And the fact that they actually made me accepting of Constable King Dickhead being on this show tonight, because he was in a Survivor Series qualifying match against Rey Mysterio. It was Rey Mysterio versus Constable King Dickhead Corbin. And I'm sitting on my couch and I'm like, well, at least he doesn't have to fight Seth. Right? At least we're not going to see him in the ring with Rollins. He's not going to be in the ring with Murphy. So at least we're seeing something different with Rey Mysterio and King Corbin. But boy, did they want to stick it to me for being even this much accepting of this guy, because not only is he one of the most boring guys, nobody cares. I don't know why anybody would want him on Team SmackDown, but nonetheless, this match became infinitely worse. It wasn't even that great. It was your typical big man versus Rey Mysterio match, and you have every reason to believe that Corbin was going to end up winning no matter what. But of course they have to make it worse and twist the little knife in my back and bring the hammer down on me by giving us our first of probably many poop hammer segments of the evening, because in the middle of this ridiculous match, of course, we had to have the Friday Night Savior, the Friday Night Man Bun. Seth Rollins had to come out and get involved. I'm asking why. He has no reason to be out there. All he wants to do is cause havoc to the Mysterio family, continue this ridiculous storyline that none of us want to continue. And now Rey Mysterio loses thanks to not really Seth Rollins, but because Buddy Murphy and Aaliyah decide to show up. They're coming out to try to help. But Rey Mysterio's like, what are you doing? Get out of here. He's been looking for his daughter all night. He wants to know where he is. And then he finally sees her and he's like, no, get out of here. I don't want to see you. Like, what? It wasn't even directed at Murphy. It was just like, no, get out of here. But weren't you just looking for her? And now she's coming. She's bringing the cavalry with her. And still the Mysterio and Buddy Murphy little turmoil, the Romeo and Juliet, Capulet, Montague shit. I don't care. I'm not 17. I'm not reading Tiger Beat, and I don't care about romances in pro wrestling. Maybe if it wasn't so pedo, I would be a little bit more accepting of it, but I get bored with wrestling romances. You know they're bullshit, and you know it doesn't matter, and I don't care that they're two scripted performers, and yes, she's of legal age to date, but she can't even take a drink. All right, she's not even old enough to drink. She's going to be with a 31, 32-year-old man. I can't. It just feels creepy. It feels icky. I don't really like it. And it's connected to this Seth Rollins, Rey Mysterio feud that just won't die. And it makes me want to die because it's just too much. It's too much. Soon as this hits my screen, it just sucks all the life out of a professional wrestling show. Made even worse by King Corbin being there because he did nothing to make anything any better. He actually made it worse and made me have egg on my face for going, well, all right, at least it's King Corbin and I don't have to see anything with Seth tonight. Almost every single match tonight had somebody come out during the matchup to cause some sort of an interference or something or other, or attack post-match, like I've almost forgot to mention, because I could really care less, that Carmella and her new little untouchable gimmick came out and super kicked Sasha Banks in the face following her victory over Bayley tonight. So we probably won't see her with Bayley again for a while. Maybe we will. WWE don't know what they're doing, really, because they gave us Carmella as your next contender for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Sure, she's a former champion, but what has she done? When has she last even really wrestled on TV? Does she deserve a title shot just yet? No. She's no better than Lana at this point, who also didn't deserve any championship opportunities because they are not built up, not because of their talents or lack of or whatever it is. It's because they're not being built. Carmella just shows up, she's getting a title shot. Who cares? And then we had this matchup where, of course, Seth Rollins came out to mess everything up, and then Aaliyah and Buddy Murphy came out to mess everything up. So, continuing with the trend, why not have that same exact thing happen in the other qualifying match, which we'll get to in a second. The next Survivor Series qualifying match was Ruby Riott versus Zelina Vega versus Natalya. Why are we having triple threat matches every week to build up this women's team? You only have a week left, right? Or is it 2 weeks? Are there 2 more episodes of SmackDown before? I believe there are 2 more before Survivor Series. But nonetheless, you only got 2 women on your team tonight. You keep having triple threat matches. Aren't all these girls going to eventually just be on the team? Because who else is there? So they're having qualifying matches and they're losing, but then they're still going to make it on the team because there's nobody else to put on the team besides these other... Am I crazy for thinking that? I don't know. Who else is there? Of course, Zelina Vega is going to end up on this team. Natalya is probably going to end up on this team. And then you still need one more. Carmella? Because Sasha's going to be busy with Asuka? Bayley? Who else is there? And it feels stupid. I don't know. Let me know what you think about that down in the comments below. Also, what was stupid was seeing Big E in the back with the Street Profits doing a New Day skit. That's pretty much what it was. They're just interchanging the teams, and he was mildly joking around, threatening that the New Day was going to beat them. And then they all started laughing. And then Billie Kay showed up out of nowhere and decided to give the Street Profits her headshot. And it's like, oh, I just came from Raw. I got the inside scoop. What the fuck do they want your scoop for? They don't need no scoop from Raw. Not your 2 scoops or any Fruit Loop scoops or any kind of scoops. They don't need it. Especially not from Billie Kay. So you got Peyton Royce on Monday Night Raw being teamed up with Bam Bam. I'm freaking worthless. Bam, bam, bam. And now you got Billie Kay trying to manage the Street Profits because she's got the scoop. They ain't about the scoop. They want the smoke. They don't want the scoop. Inside scoop. I'll give you an inside scoop right up your ass. Get out of here with this waste of television time. I'm sorry. It gets me fired up. It got me upset. Survivor Series qualifying match number 3 on this night was Seth Rollins defeating Otis. Don't you think Otis should have been the guy on this Survivor Series team? Aren't you trying to build him up? Or did you just break him away from Tucker to make him a jobber on SmackDown the way you made Tucker a jobber on Monday Night Raw? This guy was just holding the Money in the Bank contract. You were confident enough to give him that briefcase for the last 6 months, but now you're not even allowing him to be on the Survivor Series team? A team where a presence like Otis is sorely needed? You don't want Seth Rollins? You don't want him any more than you want Baron the King Constable Dickhead Corbin. And now, by the end of the night, you got both of those choices on a team with Kevin Owens and Jey Uso. Kevin Owens right now the lone babyface, and he just got his ass whipped tonight. We'll get to that in a second. But here we are again. Seth Rollins and Otis are having a match. It's a decent match between the two guys. They had a nice amount of chemistry and were working together pretty well. But then Buddy Murphy comes out. Buddy Murphy comes out. He distracts Otis just long enough for him to get super kicked in the face and then stomped by the Messiah. And then Seth Rollins picks up the win. Buddy Murphy's standing there acting like he's still the disciple. They have this little back and forth backstage where Seth Rollins is very thankful to Buddy Murphy. Oh, I understand. You see the light. It's great. Yeah. And Buddy Murphy is like, Messiah, disciple, Messiah, disciple. Seth Rollins exits the screen and immediately, boom, Aaliyah comes in play. She's screaming at Buddy Murphy, I bring you to my family and you go out there and you help him? What's going on here? She's pushing him around. And then Buddy Murphy grabs her by the hands. He's like, we're doing this for the greater good. You have to trust me. So this just makes me believe that Buddy Murphy's going to try to destroy Seth Rollins from the inside. He's going to regain his trust and then turn on him for Aaliyah, or is he going to bring Aaliyah over to the Seth Rollins side? And that's about as much as I want to talk about it, because I don't care. No matter which road they decide on going down, I don't care for either one of them, so I'm not interested. So uninterested, I had to make up a song for it, because that's what we do. Gotta make ourselves happy when SmackDown doesn't. Just like they wanted to repeat the Lars Sullivan interview. Last week, Lars Sullivan was on TV with Corey Graves, and he told this really bad story about bullies, talking about how he used to cry and made himself look really ridiculous. This week, he's sitting down with Michael Cole, and he's talking about how he don't like bullies, and it was your same old generic promo. I don't like bullies. I grew up and I gained weights and I gained muscles, and then I didn't like the bullies even more, so I beat the shit out of the bullies, and now I love it. I just love it. Ha 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 ha. Cue the evil psycho laugh with the crazy face, and then fade to black. It's the same old shit, but this went on way too long. Way too long. He just kept rambling about how he would make kids eat dirt. He would make kids eat glass, eat bugs. He does whatever he wants because he's Lars Sullivan. And ha 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 ha. This was a boring ass promo. Just as bad as the one last week. At least this week he wasn't talking about crying like a baby. But this is still the same old generic promo. He didn't get in Michael Cole's face. Why wouldn't he not want to strangle Michael Cole? If he doesn't like to be called a freak, he should have murdered that man. He should have at least threatened him. You know, I heard how many times you called me a freak, Michael Cole. I don't like it when people call me a freak, Michael Cole. Stop calling me a freak, Michael Cole. And get in his face, maybe grab him by the chin or grab him by his necktie and it's really because. But no, he just laughs. I love it so much. I beat up the bullies. I make them eat glass. Bleh. Ridiculous. And in our main event, where these guys had a very, very good match, Jey Uso went one-on-one with Kevin Owens at the behest of Roman Reigns. And my only complaint about this match, it was great. The wrestling quality in this match, wrestling quality for most matches tonight was very, very good. But here we have another thing that I complained about on the Monday Night Raw review, which if you didn't see that, go check it out. I'll leave it in the annotations for you up above. I'm so bored with this will they, won't they get along type shit and why you're having Survivor Series teammates face off against each other. These are the only two men at the time this match was booked that were part of the Survivor Series team. And they ended up in a main event against each other on tonight's SmackDown. Yes, it makes sense with the story that they're telling, so I could be a little bit more forgiving of it, but I just don't enjoy when they're doing these type of matches and they're just paying off, these are Survivor Series tag team partners. Here's a match between them. We just seen the triple threat on Monday Night Raw. It ended up being the best match Monday Night Raw maybe has had on it for majority of this year. Or at least in the Thunderdome era, this was the first time I watched a match on Raw and I really got into it. Credit to those three guys. But it's telling that same story. Oh, so the Survivor Series team, will they be able to coexist? And now Jey Uso and Kevin Owens have this little backstage confrontation, and it is blown up, got escalated pretty quickly, thanks to Roman Reigns. And now we're having this great main event. But once again, what happens in this match? Roman Reigns' music hits, which distracted Kevin Owens. And then Jey Uso hit him in the nuts, and then hit him with a super kick, and hit him with the splash for the win, beating his partner Kevin Owens, which is great for Jey Uso. I don't mind them building him with a bunch of quality matchups, no matter who's making them, Adam Pearce or Roman Reigns. This is a great way to get Jey Uso over as a single star. Kevin Owens can afford to lose. He's already Kevin Owens. He's got his own talk show. He's a bulletproof type of a superstar, and he will get his revenge, I'm sure, at the Survivor Series in some way, shape, or form. After the match, even though his music hit to cause the distraction, Roman Reigns came out to the ring, and they posed together to end this episode of SmackDown as we continue on the road to Survivor Series. And the teams, they are what they are. Does it really matter? No. Do the team captains matter? No. Is there anything at stake? Any reason for either of these brands to really put together a fantastic team and that makes you give a shit? No. No reason for any of that. It's just Survivor Series for the hell of Survivor Series, and we're going to do the same old, lame old, boring, tired brand versus brand, champion versus champion warfare that is absolutely unnecessary, where they could be taking some of the storylines that are going on, applying them to Survivor Series, making the teams based off of that, but instead we're getting this. And you know what? There is some stuff that's going to be interesting. Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns as it stands currently. I don't know where that's going to go. Obviously, we're going to get some sort of a stupid finish at the end of that. The Intercontinental Champion versus the United States Champion. The Raw Women's Champion versus the SmackDown Women's Champion. There's a couple of really great matches that have the potential to really put on a show at Survivor Series. It's just a shame that it's so meaningless, all of it. But that's it. That's all I got for you tonight for this episode of the SmackDown review and reaction show brought to you by Sledgehammer TV. Thank you all so very much for watching. A lot of you guys that watch me are not subscribed. An overwhelming amount based off of my analytics. So now is the time for you guys to rectify that. And if you have enjoyed this show in any way, shape, or form, become a member of the family right now by hitting that subscribe button. Don't forget to smash that like button if I made you laugh, if I made you cry, if I made you understand why this show still, even though it was good at points, was full of a million and one mistakes. You hit that like button for me right now. Share this video with anybody in the world, especially your wrestling buddies, if you think they would enjoy this type of thing, because we need members. We are trying to grow each and every day, and it is up to you guys to help us get there. It really helps us out. All you got to do, like, share, and subscribe. If you missed anything that we put up on the channel, from the review of Hell in a Cell to last week's Raw and SmackDown reviews, which I think both went up a little bit late last week due to personal stupid shit and falling asleep thanks to Monday Night Raw, they'll all be up in the annotations up above. If you want to check out my Inktober adventure, as Inktober came to a close as of November 1st, you could check out all 31 drawings on my Instagram account at Nick_Nightmare over there. Go to the Twitter, see my live tweets, my live reactions to Monday Night Raw and SmackDown as they happen. And for any other reason, if you're on the Twitter, might as well follow me. That's at Nick Nightmare over there. And don't forget, of course, subscribe if you had a great time here today. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is the team. Thor the Sledgehammer, the official Sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. His tag team partner, the World Heavyweight Champion of all the microphones in all the world, Mr. Blue the Snowball. The most important member of the team, as always, each and every one of you. That is going to do it, my Sledgeheads. We are out of here, and we will see you next time right here on your new favorite wrestling show, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, only on Sledgehammer TV, right here on YouTube.com. Boom.